I've been a Unitarian Universalist all my life, and my memories of the season are a mix of religious and secular traditions, Christmas trees and Hanukkah candles and solstice parties, and particularly a wonderful memory of a Christmas pageant at the Unitarian Church in Houston, Texas, where I was a child, where I was a wise man, my brother was a lamb, and my little sister was baby Jesus. So in my own life, the season is full of friends and family that I am close with, and plenty. And I look forward to this time every year. The season gives me a chance to put aside the day-to-day tasks that fill my life. And it calls to me to look beyond myself to others. And in this time, it invites me, and I hope it invites you, to gather with loved ones, or perhaps send a card or call someone you haven't talked to in a long time, and certainly to reach out to those who are less fortunate. This time, this combination as a Unitarian Universalist of Christmas and solstice and Hanukkah and Advent, and all of the things that come together to build this time of light and of celebration, is such a blend. But it is a blend of the birth of new hope and the triumph of freedom and the festival of lights. And these rituals of candle lighting, these rituals of sharing meals, these rituals of buying gifts, these rituals are sacred acts. And they are a celebration of the things we imbue meaning into in our lives. And simply, the season beckons peace. I hope as a parent to inspire a sense of reverence for all the season can bring. Yet, as an adult, I recognize that the season is full of contradictions. As we seek simplicity, we rush to buy gifts. As we seek tenderness and intimacy, we re-engage in relationships, often with family members who leave us broken-hearted. I have some of those in my family, and I imagine some of you may too.
Amen.
Yeah.
This is a time sometimes for chosen family, and the way some people do Friends Thanksgiving. Sometimes the Christmas table, or the holiday table, or the solstice table, is those who love you for your authentic self. May this season be full of those people around your table. And in the Dickens Christmas spirit, the stores beckon us to shop so that we can forget the true Christmas spirit of family traditions, and we can remember the love of humanity and the compassion for the poor. And instead, sometimes what we get in this consumer economy is the marketing ends for the Christmas spirit. I've watched also as a family member during this season was a harbinger of sadness. Growing up, I would see her put so much effort into what the season could bring, and then she would spend a week after in deep depression. This season is hard. I've come to understand that that is really not unusual. Maybe you don't spend a week in bed, but there are times in which there's a letdown from the family or the driving or the stress or the money spent. It is our yearning for peace and happiness that is so acute at this time of the year, and for that, the season doesn't bring what is needed most. It is difficult because what we feed is unrealistic expectations of the season. So what is realistic? A few years ago, I found a book in the church library. It's called Unplugging the Christmas Machine by Joe Robinson. So Robinson explored the history of Christmas marketing from 1880 to the present in the U.S. And with each generation since the turn of the century, the cogs of the wheels of the Christmas machine have been turning. Let me share just a little bit of that history. In the late 1800s, as depicted by Dickens in England, Christmas was a 12-day celebration. It was a time to truly take rest, to gather with friends and family, and the fields lay quiet as people truly took a rest. And the focus was on giving gifts to the very young children, while the others celebrated with special meals and festivities. And then by early 1900s, Christmas commercialism began. There was a general trend towards a consumer economy, and the holiday advertising began in the newspapers that started targeting gift giving for adults too. And then, coinciding with the end of World War I in 1919, there was a fear of a stagnant economy following the boom of the war economy. And some advertisers capitalized on the idea that spending would help the country. We've heard that before, more recently. Thus, advertising went on in full assault, and one ad read, "Don't give frivolous gifts, gives gifts that care." Well, the campaign succeeded, and department store inventories rose by 50% between 1919 and 1920.
Wow.
To give one's family an opulent Christmas was no longer the province of the rich, and this all seemed like progress. During the Great Depression in 1939, President Franklin D. Roosevelt declared that Thanksgiving would be the next to last Thursday in November, rather than the last, because he thought this would give merchants more time to sell for the Christmas holiday. Increased spending would hopefully boost the economy, and that schedule has continued to this day. So for each decade to come, money has been loaned and spent during the holidays, and the length of advertising increased prior to Christmas and after with post-holiday clearance. We see it. You go to CVS to get your shampoo and pick up your prescription right after Halloween, and Christmas is out, right? This is a little scary in the end of our history. Presently, on average, retail stores reap 25 to 50% of their annual profits and holiday sales. And in 2018, it was calculated that the U.S. market was just over $1 trillion. T. Boone Pickens in the 90s, the former CEO of Allied Stores, told stockholders, "During the holiday season, our job is to make people unhappy with what they have."
Wow.
So now that I've put all think about this. No wonder we are swept up into this machine. The machine has power over us because it speaks to the deepest and most sacred desires of our heart. The commercial messages of this season promise so much. Joe Robinson wrote it in this way. He said, "This is what the season promises, that our families will be together and be happy. Our children will be well behaved and grateful. Our partners will be beautiful and nurturing and kind and generous and appreciative. We will have enough money. We will have enough time. We will have fun. We will be warm. We will be safe. And last, we will be truly loved." So yes, we stop and we listen, and we want to believe. yet our expectations are unreasonable.
Right.
The problem comes when we buy into the notion that what we long for can be procured by the selling and buying of goods. We don't unplug this machine because the commercials are really, really good at promising what we are vulnerable to believe, each of us for our own reasons. And identifying what our vulnerabilities are and what we want from the season is the key to just unplugging that machine. We must take time to identify our longings and be realistic about which of these longings can truly be satisfied by the holidays. It is only then that we can go on to create a holiday that gives us joy and satisfaction. So in the recreation of this season, we can examine the holiday activities in light of our deepest values. First, we can commit ourselves to remember those who truly need our gifts. There are people in our lives that need what we can offer. Sometimes it is the coin at the bell ringing in Goodwill in front of the store. Other times it's people in our lives who need what we can offer more than just money, but sometimes our time and our love, and to reach out to them. It's about giving and not getting, is what we teach our children and each other. Second, we can commit to expressing our love in more direct ways than gifts. We can spend time with each other. We can commit to making time in the new year to be with each other. Sometimes we can do things like invite a family gift to be given by the child for game night, or trips to be given, or outings to be planned instead of a gift in a box. And third, and this is really hard, we can commit to being a peacemaker within our circle of family and friends. Perhaps this seems like a simple gesture, yet it is the foundation of what we seek most during this season. As Maya Angelou wrote in her poem, "It is Christmas time, a halting of hate time. On this platform of peace, we can create a language to translate ourselves to ourselves and to each other. Peace. It is what we have hungered for, not just the absence of war, but true peace. A harmony of spirit, a comfort of courtesies and security for our beloveds and their beloveds." And last, here, together, we can commit to rededicating ourselves to our spiritual growth. The long, dark nights of winter invite us to slow down and to sit a while in the quiet. And this can be a time for self-reflection about our lives, our longings, and the recognition of what feeds us. Come and tell a friend here what you need. Let this place be a safe place to fall. Let this place be a place for your authentic self, even if you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Let this congregation be that extended family around your table, the table that gathers you in and embraces you for who you are. And let this place be a celebration and a recognition of your life in all of its beauty, even with its jagged edges. For this season is holy by the meaning we give it. May it bring you closer to what the season can offer, peace in all its forms. May it be so. Blessed be and amen.
Yeah.